Ben, you know what's great about the older generation?
No, Walt, what's great about the older generation?
They really lived on the edge. They used to answer the phone without knowing who was calling. I'm Rare Coin expert Walt Durham,
Industry veteran Ben Parker.
and we are the coin guys from Texas.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. With your cowboy hat, it's about as Texas as it gets.
There you go.
Today we're talking about having a vision for your collection. This is something that a lot of our clients discuss. So we'll go over having a vision for your collection.
Yeah, and a recent story that came out that kind of made some waves, and it's the full vision that just from the thought process in the beginning to seeing it happen all the way through. Pretty amazing to have the forethought and plan for something like that. It can be on a small scale. We're just going to talk about one of the bigger scales that we've seen in our career, but
And we're also going to do a new tradition. We're going to call it a tradition.
yeah, just something fun weekly.
So one of the things we used to do in our newsletters, we would do guess the grade, and we would give away something for the first 10 people who guessed the correct grade of the coin. So we have a coin here. It's the grade's covered up, and we'll get nice close up. So the first person to comment the correct grade, we'll send you some freebies, some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe some free silver in there, and
Maybe some merch. You never know what you might get.
you never know. So gold has been on a tear
Yeah.
ever since the Fed opened their mouth.
Yeah, so yesterday, the Fed decided that for the first time in 4 years, they're going to be cutting interest rates, which is some exciting news if you've been waiting to move, sell your house, buy another one, make any kind of move like that where you might be using some credit and interest rates are going to, be harmful to you if they're pretty high. They cut it by 50 basis points yesterday. So,
That's pretty big.
yeah, the market I don't think the market really knows exactly how they feel about it right now. The sentiment isn't too bad one direction or the other, but for gold, typically this tends to be something that we should be excited about.
Yeah.
What it means is that there's going to be a little bit looser spending, and then when that happens, there typically is going to be more inflation. So we might be seeing, the dollar weakening. When dollar weakens, gold strengthens. In that sense, that conversion.
Yeah, and we saw gold take a run up yesterday, 25.82 when I checked, and silver went over 30. So
Yeah, so right now I'll just go ahead and hop into it. The spot prices for gold and silver. Gold right now is $2,587, up 1% today, about $29, and 1.16%. And silver is at $31.05, up $1. So I would say that it's probably moving the way that we would have expected it to react off of this news.
So when we were saying with silver under $30 an ounce,
Was a good buy?
Was a good buy.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we're right again.
Oh, what do you know?
What? You act like we do this for a living.
And platinum, just doing about the same thing. We haven't seen any major changes.
Platinum has been boring as boring can get.
Yes. And palladium's been a little bit depressive
Yeah,
the last 4 years.
Yeah,
So,
platinum's boring, and palladium's on antidepressants.
yeah.
That's the best way to put it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just been horrible for palladium. Mint's still coming out with palladium coins. Palladium coins just came out September 5th for the new Eagle. Curious to see after all said and done how the sales are on that. Pretty weak on our side for the retail outlet. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the metal prices had a huge effect on that. And, you would think that it would be time to buy. People would be excited to be able to buy some of these at a discount. But, palladium's kind of been the redheaded stepchild of the precious metals. And it just seems to hold true that way.
Yeah.
Especially even with palladium as low as it is. So we're talking about visions of collections, or having a vision for your collection, which is probably one of the most important things. A lot of people get into coins. I won't say a lot of people. Some people get into coins and they look at it as a get rich quick kind of thing, and that's just the wrong approach. But if you really take out time to build a good collection and look over it, make sure that you're in it for the long haul, you can really build something memorable, even though you're not a billionaire. And that's kind of the approach that we've always taken with our clients, something that you can be extremely proud of, no matter how much money you've invested into it, whether it's a couple $1,000s to a couple $1 million. There are ways to really enhance a collection and really spend some time and have a vision for what you want to do, leaving a legacy, I guess you would say. And so you were telling me about a story earlier
Yeah. So
that you came across.
Yeah. So actually, Shane and me were talking about this the other day, and this has been kind of developing. People have known that this has existed, but it's getting a lot of headlines right now because since 2023, it's been doing that just because it's just this vision this gentleman's had for 100 years. You know, we talk often about, short-term visions and goals for people in their collections. You want to try to finish sets, series, date runs, go for those things. But this is a vision that exceeds not only finishing a set or trying to complete it, but the end result 100 years later. So there was a gentleman and I'm probably going to butcher this name, Texas pronunciation.
There you go. Yeah. Texas math and Texas pronunciation.
So Lars Emil Brun, he died in 1923, and his will had an order in it at that time that his vast collections of coins, medals, notes that he's picked up, he started collecting in his 20s, but he built this entire collection over 60 years. Well, he decided that in his will, he's Danish, if for whatever reason Denmark's national collection was destroyed, his own personal collection would replace it.
Okay.
But in the will, it stated that if after 100 years, the way he worded it was, if everything is all as well with the collection, then his descendants would have access to those coins and be able to sell them. So over 60 years, that collection is definitely made value then, but in 100 years, it's done a lot of wonders.
I can imagine.
So after that expired, the 100-year expiration on the will, he took this collection. First off, is 20,000 coins. It's massive.
Yeah, that's a big collection right there.
Yeah. So the descendants took 286 of those coins, put them in different lots with Stack's Bowers. Now, those 286 in American dollars recently sold for $16.5 million.
That's a good chunk of change right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is exciting because this one gentleman built this collection. Now, I can't say that everybody can go and build a collection this massive because what happened was when he was in his 20s, his family was destined to get some inheritance. The problem was when he started to get older, he realized that a lot of that inheritance was wasted away because his family had built up debts.
Right.
So at that point, he was pretty frustrated. You think you have money coming in, it's gone. So they called him a butter magnate. So he was just a king of the butter industry, just delivering it, selling it, international transportation. It was just, he basically ran the Denmark's butter industry.
Okay.
So he made a lot of his money through that. And of course, that facilitated him being able to build this collection. But think about that. Being able to know that these coins, banknotes, medals are going to be worth something one day. And now we're talking about multi-million dollar generational wealth.
Right.
So this is a very large scale. Stack's Bowers, they're saying that, they've only sold 286 out of this 20,000 piece set.
And they're already at 16.5 million.
Exactly. They're saying that it's going to take time, just like any major collection does, to go through an auction and sell. But once it's sold, they're saying that this very well could be the most expensive collection ever auctioned off.
And man, 20,000 coins is a lot. That's a lot of coins and a lot of work. But, we say it all the time, the prices that we look at today, gold at $2,582, price for, Gold Eagle at $2,900. Some people might say, man, that's really expensive. But when you zoom out and you really look at things, I mean, look what a 1911D $2.50 Indians were in the 50s. They were $60. And that seems so ridiculously cheap right now. Now that you're talking about a $10,000 coin in 62 grade or something. If you really take the time and this guy had really had a vision that, it was, I bet his grandkids are just, thanks, great grandpa,
Yeah, no kidding.
you
right?
know, and Stax Bauer's probably right along there with them with their commission fees, but that it's an impressive feat. And, obviously not everybody can build a collection of 20,000 coins,
Right.
but it's, it's this thing that we preach is having, a vision for what you're doing, and that somebody down the road's going to appreciate it. And that's exactly what he did. Obviously his collection was massive. He had the money to put behind it and was able to put 20,000 coins, into a collection. And he knew that he could probably, replace the national collection.
Yeah.
That's how good his collection was. So what do you think? How does that translate to like the average person?
So it's all on a scale. Everything is, it's case by case. Every person's going to be different. The amount of money that you can put toward a collection is going to be different compared to someone else. But it's as much as you put into it is as much as that you're going to get out of it.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with, a lot of the people I talk to, the reason why they got into collecting was because somebody passed down a small Morgan silver dollar collection.
Right.
At least it opens the door, and then that's value that you have there that's been passed down to your family. So I would say if you have a vision and you have a goal, you're going to be immensely better off rather than not having one. One of my favorite quotes is, if you fail to plan, then your plan is to fail.
Right.
And now in this case, you're still going to have coins and there might be a hodgepodge, but you could be a lot more successful collecting if you have a plan and a vision long term.
Right. And so, with building a collection, whether you spend $5,000 or $100,000 or $1 million putting together a collection, one of the great things you want to do is show it off. And, because you are investing time, money, and resources into collecting coins. That is what we do, is collecting coins. And it's hard to share that because of the value. I mean, look here, we just bought a new display case. And it's like, well, we don't want to put the really cool coins. I mean, what if somebody breaks in?
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. But you do want to be able to share the coins. But now with technology, I'm going to transition a little bit. Now with technology, there is a way to share your collection with social media. Obviously YouTube. Who knew YouTube existed? But you got YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and you could do it pretty privately. You can name your collection. We have a collection coming up for sale, the Cherry Villa collection, right? And you can create a whole Instagram, Facebook account based on your collection and share what you've worked so hard for.
Yeah.
And 20 years down the road, those files, those pictures, those videos of you talking about your collection, they're gonna live on. And there's a lot of things you can do to have a plan for your collection. And I think that's one area that some people look over, is sharing this with the next generation. I mean, imagine if that guy had YouTube back in 1920, how he could videotape why he bought the coin, why this particular coin was special, why this series is what he's focusing on. And now I would almost argue that maybe the great grandkids wouldn't sell it. They might find a connection to it.
I imagine they're probably going to want to hang on to some of it.
Right. I would hope so.
Yeah.
But thanks, great grandpa.
Yeah, no kidding.
That would be a good one. But one of the things that a lot of clients, we tell a lot of clients to do is really focus on, find something meaningful to you. And even if you're a really small budget collector, right, collecting is not silver stacking or just gold stacking. Collecting is collecting. And even if with silver bars, we talked about the vintage silver bars that we got in. You can even collect vintage silver bars and put together a pretty meaningful collection. Like I've said it before, me and my wife, we like to collect the vintage nudie silver bars. It's just something like we have a collection of them, and anytime I run across them, I buy them. And I think somebody's going to appreciate them one day because you
Yeah.
don't see that kind of stuff these days.
Yeah.
They were wild in the 70s. I mean, topless women on these silver bars
Yeah.
and stuff. But it's just something that connects with me. We've had, the Coors Light Silver Bullet bars and, something like that. That's an actual, if you're putting pieces, even as something as simple as silver bars, having a plan and a vision.
Yeah, and what is it? Those vintage. There's one silver bar that does really well. What's that brand?
Engelhard.
Engelhard. If you want to pause this real quick and go take a look at what some of these vintage Engelhard bars sell for, it's insane. It's just silver, Walt.
It's just silver.
It's just silver. No, but you're capturing a snapshot of the past, and those bars you're not going to be able to get those anymore, and that's why we've preached so many times about having goals, finishing sets, and a lot of this stuff, for granted, a lot of the people out there, $7,000 coins might be out of reach for you. But the reality is that if you've been looking at this area, there are $7,000 coins out there that you can get tied for finest known.
Right.
Those are the type of things that, there was one coin in his collection, it was a 1496 piece. That was arguably one of the most prominent pieces in the collection. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was millions.
Right.
The type of coins that are going to be worth the most are going to be the ones that are the rarest, that are the highest grade for a lot of these pieces. So it sounds simple, but you can right now a lot of these are uber affordable.
Right.
Some of the finest stones, even if it's not gold, if you go and get Morgan silver dollars, you can get second or third finest grade, and it's not that much money.
Right. And that's kind of the thing. Like, we don't specialize in foreign currency at all.
No, I think this might be the first time we've talked about world coins.
Yeah, and it's just not my forte. I have no passion towards it.
Yeah.
It's just someone that there's just too many countries out there. Too much. And, we like the U.S. stuff, but it's a great story. When you first started telling me about it today, I was like, man, that's really interesting that he had to sit there and think, 100 years from now is when it can be sold. And like I said, his great grandkids are probably extremely happy. But tying it all together with it just goes to show you that, and these coins were probably not uber expensive back in the day.
No.
He could understand rarity, mintage, condition, and knowing that this is going to be a difficult coin to find in the future. And that's kind of what we preach. It's a little tougher nowadays to come across stuff like that because the stuff coming out of the United States Mint is mass produced. Now you have to look for condition rarities instead of absolute rarities. But there are coins that have done extremely well, that were really affordable when they first came out. We talked about the 2021 high relief, how, it's an ounce of gold and it traded for close to an ounce of gold, but now it's an $8,000-$9,000 coin in 70. So the people who could really sit down and say, it's a great design, I can get it now. It's available now, but I feel like a lot of people, and I can see the mintage numbers because they were low, saying, hey, that's going to be a tough coin. And I've preached this about platinum, especially burnished platinum eagles, is if you go look at some of the mintages on burnished platinum eagles, you don't think of a modern coin as something that could turn into something like this. You're saying, well, the reason those coins are valuable, they're from 1496. But hold on, think about this.
Yeah.
The United States Mint is making 275,000 Morgan silver dollars this year, or of the mint state. You go to the burnished platinum eagle series, they don't make the fractionals anymore. And when I say fractionals, I'm saying the 10th ouncer, the quarter ouncer, and the half ouncer. And look at what those prices have brung, even though platinum is down, because you can't find them. They have mintages of 2,200 coins, which is absolutely insane. Platinum may be out of favor today. Palladium may be out of favor today. But who's to say there's not some breakthrough technology 25 years from now? And platinum's all over the news, and people are saying, oh, we made platinum coins back in 2006 and 2007, or the palladium coins from 2020 in 2022. I really think like if you have that vision for long term, you might be dead, but
Your family is
your
gonna-
family would be like, man, this guy was extremely smart. So you might not be able to live around to get the praises, but I mean, but you could. I mean, gold is vastly different from 20 years ago.
Oh yeah,
And
just short term, and this is what's blowing my mind. Short term, just the spot price of gold over the last 5 years has averaged 20% annual. 20%. That's almost like that's 100% increase.
in
you know,
5 years.
Yeah, that is mind blowing.
Right.
That's 5 years. So if that's what happens in 5 years, we see what happens in 100. Cut yourself a little slack. Say build a collection, have a vision for it for 30 years. There's no telling it, especially with what's going on. They don't make, one of the things I think of is they changed the design for the Gold Eagles. These Type 1s from 1986 to 2021. 1986, what is that set going to be worth 20 years from now?
I agree with you. And this is, the point of this whole talk is to really put that into focus and say, like, don't think about right here, right now.
Yeah.
Think about long term. And even, the prices that we were paying for burnished, just the thing that comes to mind is burnished Platinum Eagles. The prices we were paying in 08, 09, and 10 and 11 for 70 grade burnished Platinum Eagles, I would buy a truckload if I could go back, but I can't go back.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing is finding the coins. And I loved them when they came out. I was a big component of burnished Platinum Eagles. And there's a guy out there, whether he has YouTube or not, he was extremely mad at me because I made him build, I say made him build, but I really convinced him to build a complete burnished Platinum Eagle set. And for years, he was like, this is just stupid. And whether he knows it or not, he's sitting on a, lack of a better word, a gold mine.
A platinum mine.
He's sitting on a platinum mine.
Yeah.
Those prices have done ridiculous numbers. And I'm telling you, everything, history has a funny way of repeating itself all the time. And platinum could come into favor. And when it's in the news, who knows? I mean, who knows how many collectors come? A lot of people don't know platinum exists. A lot of people don't know Gold Eagles exist. And that's the exciting thing that you have to think of is, you see the YouTube videos of guys, do you want a 10th ounce Gold Eagle or a Snickers bar? And how many people take the Snickers bar?
Exactly.
So go try to buy your Taco Bell order with a $50 Gold Eagle. They're going to be like, no.
Yeah.
So, there's so much room for growth in the coin collecting hobby. Stories like this is great to hear. Stories of the found gold coins. The more and more it gets out in the public, people are going to realize coins aren't going away anytime soon. And it's not the stamp. It's not the world of stamps.
Yeah. That's a really good way to put it because some people that aren't collectors, they probably think there's not a lot of who collects coins. The thing about it is you have to take into account that it's a very private thing because it's value.
Right.
You don't want to broadcast to everyone in the world that you have gold and silver. So I'm willing to bet there's a lot of people around you that won't tell you that they have it because it has value.
Right.
So I guarantee collecting coins specifically isn't going away anytime soon.
Right.
If anything, I'd argue it's increasing. So,
oh, it definitely is. And, especially with now social medias, you see the TikToks of people, they do kind of, it's clickbait kind of stuff where this quarter, if it has this mint error kind of thing, it's worth, $200 million.
like that last episode we talked about that dime.
Yeah, the dime.
It's
That got paid $18,000 for a dime in what year?
I can't remember. It was
But
yeah.
But he had a vision. He knew
This is true rarity.
There's three types of rarity: absolute rarity, condition rarity. There's another rarity. But he knew there's only two in the world, and he was like, "This that, that coin's not valuable because it's a Proof 67. That coin is extremely valuable because it's one of two. And he caught the error. And it's not just error coins that you look for. And so that's kind of the thing. Yeah, that's kind of the strike it rich. You hit a gold mine when you find an error like that where a coin's missing the S. But there's so many, like, again, Burnished Platinum Eagles, 08 reverse of 07. I mean, the people who had to say, hey, they stopped production of this, halfway through the year, and they changed. Look at what that Silver Eagle is compared to a normal Silver Eagle. The With W 2021 quarter ounce gold Eagles. All of those coins, those are just modern, anomalies that collectors can take advantage of. The Frosted Freedom Platinum coin, that a collector was smart enough to say, hey, this is different.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of areas, and planning your purchases around that. And, I was talking about the silver nude bars that we collect. A lot of those bars I paid $40 for, irregardless of silver price. Like silver is $20, I pay $40. Who cares? Find another one.
What's Jerry Jones say?
Oh, everything I've ever overpaid for, I made money on.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the truth. Like, people used to, we've bought some big coins and I'm like, oh, you paid too much money for that. And then it was like, in hindsight, they're like, whoa.
I wonder what that guy that bought that dime, what his wife said.
Oh, his wife was
Paying
probably
$18,000
because back then, like, houses was
yeah.
$18,000. So he bought a house, something that is a dime for what it costs to build a house back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet his wife. So for all you coin collectors out there, if your wife gets on to you, just tell them that story.
Yeah, there you go.
They just tell them that story and to say, I have a vision. But that's the main thing. The main purpose is to have some kind of plan and really be thoughtful. It doesn't matter if you're going to put it around. You're going to build your collection around pennies or silver bars. Just find something that's going to be tougher to find in the future, and I think you'll be all right, as Matthew McConaughey would say. So let's do guess the grade.
All right. So how's this going to work for us? We're going to guess it too? Or?
No, I don't. Well, no.
You already know it.
I already know it, but we can't guess it. So what we'll do is we'll get Jordan, the famous Jordan. Jordan's famous by now.
Oh yeah, he's going to blast it on
he'll
the
put it
screen.
up there. It's a Morgan silver dollar. This one's going to be a little tough. It's going to be a little tough.
A curveball, huh?
It's going to be a little tough. It's a tough coin to grade. I will say that it's an 87 Philadelphia issue, and it's a Morgan silver dollar. So Jordan will take some good video. I'm sure he's putting it up right now.
It's up there right now.
It's up there right now. That's the magic of YouTube right there, and. It's a tough coin. Morgan silver dollars are tough coins. I'll give you some hints if you're not good at grading. It's a fun little exercise to do. Look at the hair on the Morgan silver dollar. Look at the cheek, and that's going to tell you. And listen, don't be fooled. Like we've got Morgans in here that I can pull out in XF45 and AU58. So guess the grade is a fun thing. Us coin dealers, we do it a lot on Facebook within our private groups. Like I said, we used to do it in a newsletter, and it was tons of fun, and we might bring that back up. So yeah, first person to get the correct grade of that nice Morgan silver dollar sitting on your screen, put a comment on YouTube, and we will send you some free stuff. It's that simple. And it's a fun little exercise, and you're going to see people's grades vary. And it will help you with your grading skills. The more you concentrate on grading, don't overthink it. Just try it out. And next week
we'll announce
we'll show what grade it was, and it'll be a fun little series to do.
Yeah.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll take y'all's best grading bifocals out and take a look at the screen and comment your best guess at the grade of this Morgan silver dollar. But until next week, we'll see you then.